Hello and welcome to the centre of Kyiv. We've got some equipment here which the invading barbarian army left behind, largely because it was shot up. Most of what you're going to see here is air transportable. This was delivered to the airport at Hostomel in the first days of the invasion, and then for one reason or the another either got shot up or got abandoned, as we see from this. Now, when starting off with this thing here, we see this neo-Nazi V sign on the vehicle, which was meant to for them to see which ones were theirs. This is a BMD2. Now, there we see it. Now, the D indicates that it is descent over, so it's air transportable. So 331st Guards Airborne Regiment of Russia, and as we can see, this one here doesn't appear to have been shot up, so therefore I assume that it broke down. Somebody helped themselves to the engine before it got here. Presumably they ended up themselves the engine after it got here. But this one is in the best condition of any that I have seen so far. Well, there might yet be some other. Let's hope I don't see any in really good condition. So the turret has come off. I don't know what this is of. Right, so here we have the BMD-4M, which is a larger vehicle. Also, you can see from the state that the gun is in. I don't know why this has come off, because that's not clear to me. It doesn't look as though it was caught in artillery or shot off, but I can't give the answer to that one. This one here has come in for a paint job. It's an APC, Armoured Personnel Carrier, and rather unusual weapon in my opinion, because I don't think it's been well designed, or maybe there's something about it which just seems to me not to be well designed. A BTR 82A. So it's used by motorized infantry, although this one may have been transported by air, that I don't know. Now, normally with a armoured personnel carrier, you tend to expect the personnel to get out at the back, and for some reason with this one, it's like a car, you get out at the sides. And it's got the Ferrari type door, except it doesn't come up, it comes down. And there's one that comes out sideways. Let's have a look inside before it got cooked. And so you got there, you see down there, there's the driver and driver's mate. You've got a bench here which I believe took 3 people on either side, and there must have been somebody operating the gun somehow, although that's not very clear to me how it was. Escape hatches here as well. Let's go on the front. Escape hatches for the driver, driver's mate, and there's an escape hatch down here though. Maybe it's not an escape hatch, maybe that's for something else. So I've got the smoke grenade throwers, as well as the main gun. On the subject of guns, we've got here some shells. There you go. I don't know if that one was used, or this just sort of happened to it when it got cooked. I think that's something with the engine, but they're shells. Okay, next one here we've got is the Russian version of the Humvee, which is a Tiger, T-I-G-R, and this again has got a rather powerful looking armament at the top. It's not the sort of thing you really, I would have thought, would have wanted in a weapon system like this. I think something like this is more lighter weapons. That's the way I would look at it. For speed purposes. Let's have a look inside. And gives you an idea. Have been in a Humvee, but I can't quite remember what it looked like now. American one. So that's a TIGR-M Arbalete DM remote weapon station at the top. Destroyed in an artillery strike. Double glazing, obviously you want to keep warm, wouldn't you? And look at what it's like inside. Presumably in all cases the occupants didn't get out alive. And you might think, what do I think in these circumstances? I can tell you this, having spoken to people whose families were buried alive under rubble and not taken out, refused by the occupiers to let them out, I no longer have any feelings for those who were in here before. As for their mothers, I would say to them this: you can do something about it by taking to the streets and getting rid of the neo-Nazi fascist regime in Moscow now. That's what so that's my message to the mothers and the families of those that came here to kill and end up getting killed themselves. Right, here we've got one of a rather common type of weapon, BMD2, and saw a lot of them in the Bucha area. I think they've lost almost 100 of these so far in this war. Most of them are in this area, but because it's an air transportable weapon, it was the air attack that was made on Hostomel at the beginning of the war. Hostomel is the airport of Kyiv, it's the northwest of Kyiv, and from Hostomel coming south you've got Vozhel, Bucha, and Irpin, where the barbarians committed terrible crimes. Right, so this is a amphibious landing weapon. It's got the V neo-Nazi identification sign, and you can see, oh, it's got a pleasant smell of having been burned up in an attack, this one. BTR MD, and so this was 31st Guards Airborne Brigade as well. So it's a pretty large vehicle, this one here. Let's have a walk over the other side of the road, get knocked down in the process. And okay, that's from the Second World War, and so is that. But this thing here, this is a missile that was fired into Ukraine from Russia in 2014. So it's a terrorist attack on the territory of from Russia onto the territory of Ukraine. And I've got the date it was fired as well, 3rd of September 2014. So it was fired near the village of Dmitrivka and Pobeda in the Novoadaya district in the Lugansk region. So BMD 30 Śmierć. Śmierć means death. And so this puts the lie to the likes of Kremlin spokesperson Maria Zadarova, whatever her name is, I've forgotten, and who claims it was the Ukrainians firing. And what is that there then? It was Russia invaded in 2014, and carried a war out, a terrorist war, from the safety of their own territory, while Ukraine is more or less denied the possibility to defend itself. So here we have one of the terrorists' aircraft that was shot down, or part of it anyway. Rather reminds me of that scene in Apocalypse Now when they go past in the boat the tail part of an aircraft. So this is a Su-25 Su-25CM, which was shot down the 2nd of March 2022. And there you have the turret of the BMD for airborne combat vehicle. It was destroyed in the Hostomel operation. Now, so all this stuff here is from the Kyiv region. So what I'd like to do to finish off with, if I don't get knocked down, is to take you to this wall here where we have the photographs of those people who have been killed, or were killed, I should say, up until 2016 in Putin's war in the Donbass, the terrorist war. These people, and I believe this is just military personnel, it doesn't include around 12,000 Ukrainian civilians who have been killed by these bandits. So that, I think, is I think that's really sad, but that's what we're here now, to stop this sort of thing happening as much as we can, or contribute as we can to stop this type of thing from happening, to defend Europe, to defend European values. Sorry about the wind. Right, so there you have it, and hope you found that of interest. I am currently in Ukraine, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here, and if you find this sort of thing interesting, then you might want to subscribe. If you're interested in doing anything to assist Ukraine, unfortunately I can't help with humanitarian assistance, but anybody who wants to join the Foreign Legion, then I can help with that. So if you are interested in doing something along those lines, then you can contact me via the link which is below, which is to my Facebook site, and I'll direct you to the appropriate people. Thanks for listening.